Okay, so the next session, a very special session that we have included in the agenda for all of you. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome up onto the stage Gulsanna Mamediieva, who is advisor to the advisor to the Prime Minister for Innovations, Development of Education, Science and Technologies at the Ministry of Digital Transformation in Ukraine, who is going to give us a perspective on digital transformation from Ukraine. Please join me in giving Gulsanna a very warm welcome.
Thank you, everyone. I just want to check whether the microphone is working. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here today, staying for, I know you have been here all day. And I'm very honored and pleased to have a chance to present today and to speak about Ukrainian paths and experience and lessons learned in digital transformation, because we were fortunate and unfortunate to have a quite unique paths and unique lessons. So Ukrainian digital transformation started to be a central in government policy in 2019 with huge support from the political side. President Zelensky was campaigning with holding a smartphone in his hand and promising people to build state in a smartphone. And then Minister of Digital Transformation were created to implement this quite abstract vision, state in a smartphone. What we did it, and I want to make this presentation to say what we built and what I think were the kind of magic pillars, what allowed us to move faster, and how it all played in the full-scale invasion and the existential fight that we are going through. So the first thing we do is to build and understand what is a state in a smartphone, what is a digital government, and have a clear mission, what we are going to achieve. And we formulated as to build the most convenient digital state in the world, meaning that government services should be available in a few clicks, in a few seconds, not very different from booking or using Airbnb or Uber, where the government prioritize efficiency, save costs, money, and resources, and putting citizen in the center. For this, very shortly after we started to work, we understood that it's not possible to single entity or ministry to achieve this actually cross-sectoral reforms that we wanted to do on our own, and that we need a rapid, very ground institutional reform. And this institutional structure were presented, and then we implemented it. So we introduced CDTO position. It's a Chief Digital Transformation Officer position that have, they operate on deputy minister level in each agency in Ukraine on the central and regional level. So Minister of Health, Minister of Education, they all have CDTO. The same is on the regional level. We created this long name of the agency. They are mostly responsible for the cybersecurity, and we created separated public enterprise DIA company, which work as in-house IT company for developing products inside the government. And of course, it was reflected, the special committee in the Parliament on digital transformation were created. The second, I think, pillar, we put a lot of effort into branding and marketing, meaning that we were explaining citizens what exactly we are building, what they have to buy in, not only for citizens, but other stakeholders in the government. Ukrainian society knowingly have a quite low public trust in government, and that is not very favorable condition when you build digital services. So our goal was to overcome and have to build trust to the product and tell what kind of we mostly were operating like on emotional level and telling what exactly we want to build, what is our mission, what is DIA about, and this next video will explain you what it is.
What is DIA? DIA is a state in a smartphone. It is a super app that cares about millions of Ukrainians on a daily basis. Ukraine is the first country in the world that allows its citizens to use digital passports as an alternative to ID, using which you can open a bank account in one click and travel around the country without originals. Your digital documents and variety of public services are available in one application. No paperwork, no stress, no lines, no bureaucracy. We didn't stop even when the war started. We launched new DIA-based services to help people. Emergency payments were made through the DIA in just a couple of minutes. Every Ukrainian can apply for the internally displayed status, join a job center, or apply for unemployment benefits, report the damages, and apply for compensation. And even apply for the state mortgage without leaving a house, pay all taxes and submit annual tax declaration, or sell and buy auto whenever you're home or abroad. Ukrainians even register their business through the DIA and support state with buying Ukrainian military bonds. State in a smartphone works 24/7, 365 days per year. DIA saves state budget on a daily basis by overcoming corruption. Convenient, invisible, human-centered. This is what DIA really is.
So DIA, translated from Ukrainian as action, it's also an acronym, Держава і я, which translated as state and me, and it's pure reimagination how government should interact with citizens and businesses. Today, Ukrainian DIA mobile super app have more than 2 million users. If you take children and occupied territories, it's pretty much all adult population, and DIA is not obligatory in Ukraine. This is super app that stands as ID wallet. It's have 14 digital documents that have the same legal force as a paper or plastic one, and the number of services today is more than 30, and it's constantly updating and growing. The next video will explain you, so DIA, again, is mainly about, DIA application is mainly about digital documents and public services online. It also have DIA signature, the feature that allows you to sign documents with literally blink of an eye. And it's also have a very great feature, sharing of digital documents, and next video explaining how it's work. Well, oops, sorry. Okay, so basically sharing digital documents is a great use case that allows share the digital ID or digital passport, digital driver license, just use the QR code, and it's enabled so many use cases, for example, as opening bank account online or check-in in a hotel, and other use cases. DIA doesn't store any documents offline. This is just reflection of the information that is already in the registries and the state registries. So for example, if I receive driver license today, it will be reflected in my DIA very quickly. And it's work like token. DIA is safe by design because, again, it doesn't store any personal data. It's just reflection from the information from the state databases, and it just displays it. We constantly conduct permanent, like open competition for ethical hackers, and we invite international partners. We do this work with support of international partners. We do conduct pen tests with the best cyber companies in the world. DIA application is not just one pillar. DIA is whole ecosystem, and application is one core block of it, but there is also a web portal where there's more than 100 public services available, and we put there more like complex services, for example, applying for the permits in the construction sphere. For today, this is the top cases that DIA brought Ukraine. Ukraine is the first country in the world where digital passport work as a plastic or paper one. It's the first country where digital driver license were introduced in Europe. 91% of newborns in Ukraine are registered with DIA in a hospital without need to visit public offices for the new parents, and we have the world's fastest business registration, up to 10 minutes. Recently we had it like 25 minutes, and there were a person in a loop, and we constantly upgrade and look how we can improve and automate and take off person out of the process. So today is a purely automated process. The world really changed for every Ukrainian on 21st of February 22. And my world changed, the world of my family, world of whole country changed. But it's hard to imagine how Ukraine would be able to resist and fight back without this infrastructure that we were lucky to have and build before full-scale invasion. So you see on the screen the number of services that we created, just example of services, it's not a number, they're much bigger. Example of services we created before the full-scale and after full-scale invasion. What we did, we put DIA on the war mode, and we started to implement and quickly roll out war-related services, such as registering as internally displaced person for those who were evacuating from the hotspots, applying for the benefits, for evacuation or financial assistance for evacuation, or for those who, many people in Ukraine just lost their job in one day. So unemployment benefits were launched in I think no more than 5 days. And in the first day we received 5 million applications, and they were processed in 24 hours. Russia, when they invade territory, what they do, they shut TV towers, and their aim to cut off citizens from the government information. We launched DIA TV and DIA Radio and, to provide information to citizens. Ukrainians are able to report damaged property online and apply for the compensation. eWork, it's revolutionary, I think, service that it's a crowd surveillance tool that allows Ukrainians, only Ukrainians, because they authorize through the DIA, report information from the occupied territory and provide it directly to the armed forces of Ukraine about Russian military forces or equipment that they see. This is really, this is just show how DIA agile and robust instrument, how robust and agile instrument DIA is. And we just not continue to implement the war-related and address real needs very quickly, but we continue to do things that we were planning. For example, court rulings, police clearance certificate, verification of notary document, that was like our backlog. DIA application and web portal is a central part of the whole DIA ecosystem. We also work on the DIA Education is a national product that was aimed to enhance digital skills and literacy of citizens. With the full-scale invasion, we rethink and transform this project into upskilling. It's the first actually platform for one-stop shop for Ukrainians for upskilling and reskilling, for switchers, for those who lost their jobs, and the platform for developing human capital in Ukraine. DIA City is a tax and legal regime for the tech and IT companies in order to provide them for favorable conditions so they would be able to stay in Ukraine and continue to operate in Ukraine. DIA Business is online and offline hubs to help small, medium enterprises to digital transform while they receive free consultation in various spheres. If the DIA app is an interface, the DIA web portal is interface, DIA engine as a backend is a tool for building state registers very fast. It's low code and open source solution that we opened it very recently. So what's next? We ask our question in Ukraine. It's a very hard question for us generally, but we have a very clear vision what we want to achieve as a digital government. And we started to think about innovation strategy globally, not just in digital, but in Ukraine there was no before any single agency responsible for innovation. There was no proper structure, institutional structure, and the Ministry of Education, Minister of Digital Transformation were added this portfolio as well. And now in December we presented Ukrainian Global Innovation Vision 2030. In order to prioritize sectors in Ukrainian economy, to restructure economy, and to move forward.
What is the future of Ukraine like? Is it a hope for a happy tomorrow, for breakthroughs and battle-throughs? This is not a hope, this is a will. The will to do more than we thought we could. The will to create technologies that make enemies shout, "My Lord." The will to improve lives, provide jobs. To be the rare for those who fight against all odds. a partner to developers, scientists, entrepreneurs. To those who choose their own reward. Ours is to be the state of free people. So instead of hoping, we act. Because we cannot afford to lose. Win-win. Ukrainian Global Innovation Vision. Winning the peace.
This is the sectors that Ukraine prioritizing for development in the next 5-10 years. Of course, defense tech, medtech, that is very much developing in Ukraine today, agrotech, green tech, UAV, and biotech. We believe that we know we cannot outnumber Russians, but we can outsmart them. So what is ahead as a digital government? We made DIA open source very recently, and we encourage and work with other governments and states to look at and actually use and leverage on our experience as one of the best practices, and we help to providing consultancy and understand how it's work in Ukraine. We work on MRIA. It's groundbreaking. I believe it will be one of the best educational application in the world because it's called to address the challenge that Ukrainian students have today. One of the third Ukrainian students continue to study online because this is very hard for them because their school were destroyed or they don't have a proper shelter in their school. And we have to think about how to support teachers and parents. So this application will be for students, for teachers and parents with many exciting features and using AI for fostering education. U-Residency is a tool for foreigners who is eligible and can register in Ukraine and pay taxes. We work on e-marriage service, very much in demand today. Unfortunately, many families are separated in different countries or men are on the front line. Complex services for the veterans as a social assistance, and we continue to implement complex reforms as, for example, e-notary or digital transformation of the state statistics. So we continue to push new technological culture in the government and think with a philosophy, promote philosophy in the government that every service should be designed with a digital-first approach. So summarizing my presentation, we started our rapid digital transformation in 2019, and today Ukraine is not only fighting for its very existence, Ukraine continue to innovate and continue to show all the world what is possible to achieve, what kind of government you can build in digital age. And today we are sharing our digital transformation experience, lessons, and products. Thank you very much for your attention.
And I'm sure you will join me in wishing Sana and all of her friends and family in Ukraine that when she asks what's next, that the answer is overwhelmingly positive for Ukraine. So thank you so much.